Hey, how's it going everyone? Got a flashlight review for you. What you're looking at here is the Inova T4 LED flashlight. It's lithium ion rechargeable, and that's about all I know so far because I just got this in the mail. Thank you so much to Lindsay and the folks at gadzooks.com for hosting. Figure I'd try something a little bit different since this is in a clear package. Reckon I'd just do a little unboxing before I went on to the review and the performance videos of how this flashlight works out. So hopefully you guys will find this a little bit interesting. I always feel like Christmas whenever I get a new piece of gear to review, so I reckon you guys might like to see a little bit of this. If not, you can just fast forward to the rest of the review. So opening this up right here, got the actual flashlight itself. Put this over to the side, just box out of the way. Looks like the charger. Cool. And what looks to be two mounting screws right here. So I guess I could just mount this onto my wall wherever I want. It's a nice little touch right there. And then last piece, got the manual and an adapter kit. Let's see what's in here. So, got the AC adapter, so I reckon it just plugs in, if I'm doing it right, like that. So I just plug this in the wall, mount this somewhere, and then I can just click on the flashlight whenever I want to charge it. And let's see what's in this bag right here. Whoops. Oh, cool. Got a car charger. It's pretty neat. Handy. So it looks like you can use this for the home or on the go. So you can have this ready and charged in your car whenever you have the need for it. So I'm just going to play around with it. Whoa. And it actually is already charged. How cool is that? So I'm just going to play around with this for a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days, and then I'll get to the actual review. Hey, how's it going everyone? Got another flashlight review for you. Thank you so much to the folks at gadzooks.com for hosting. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have a lot of this cool gear to show you guys. Every now and then, when you're buying gear, you want stuff with a lot of functions, a lot of options, but every now and then you just need that one go-to piece of gear, that thing that you have in your car, in your house, that's like the thing you feel comfortable going to. And it doesn't have to do a lot of fancy stuff, it just has to do one or two things, and it has to do them well, and you know that no matter what the conditions are, you can rely upon it. And so I bring you the Inova T4 LED flashlight. This thing is a beast. I've been using it for the last week or so, just taking it out, and luckily it has been raining lately, so I can actually thump on this a little bit and use it outside, and I like this light. This has become like the go-to house light. Now, I'm sure a lot of you at home, you got like that one big heavy ass mag light flashlight, and that's fine too, but those tend to be incandescent. Unless you sprung for the LED kit, which, by the way, check out gadzooks.com. They have LED kits for your older Maglite flashlights, so I would go into that. In fact, I'm going to try to get some for my older Maglites. But anyways, we're talking about the Inova T4 right now. It's a great design if you guys are looking for a really hard-use, heavy-duty flashlight. This is like going to be a good buy to check out. I really love the body. It's made out of machined aluminum, and just the fit and finish of it, this is excellent. Looking around, I don't see any machining marks, I don't see any extra little bits of like material sticking out. It's really nice, really smooth. I love the texturing along the grip here and along the forend as well. It's textured enough to give me a good purchase on the light so that it doesn't slip even when I'm wearing gloves, but at the same time it's not so aggressive that I'm going to chew up and tear up my hands while I'm using it. Great little light. I like the placement of the light switch right here. For smaller lights, like say if it was half this size that can fit in the palm of my hand, I prefer the push button to be at the butt of the flashlight, because then I can just use my thumb to actuate it. But for a light this size, I actually prefer the activation switch to be in the middle, because if it was here at the base, as you can see, it's going to be a little bit front heavy. As the flashlight gets bigger, like past the size of my hand, I actually want it here, because then my hand is here in the middle at the balance of the light, so that I can actually control it, and I can access the activation button with either my index or my middle finger, and keep my hand here in the middle, so it doesn't feel as heavy or awkward by having it unweighted. So that's a great thing. The light itself is rated at being 200 lumens worth of output, and it's supposed to be visible up to 350 feet. Now, trying this light outside, and I'm going to show you how this light functions outside of my backyard. Being living in the city, it's kind of hard to find a spot that's dark enough without too much light pollution, but in my backyard I happen to be lucky enough to find a section where I can get this thing at a 50-foot, shine on a 50-foot object. So, or an object 50 feet away. So from that you can kind of get an idea and extrapolate from that how this light will perform at further distances. So I'll show you that, how that looks after I go over some other things about this flashlight. Now, the cool thing about this light, in addition to being so bright at 200 lumens and having such a good effective range, is that this has a full charge of 2 hours. Now, if I show you the box right here, just flip this over. The neat thing about this, some of you might like it, some of you might not, is once it gets to 2 hours, it's just going to die out. So instead of having a light and it's super bright and then it just kind of dims, you're just going to get max output almost the entire 2 hours, and then you just got to know that at 2 hours it's going to drop off sharply and die off. Some people might not like that. Some people might want a little bit of a taper so that they have a warning. But if you're pretty good, if you pull this thing off the charger at 2 hours, you know, and I would set your watch or a timer or something like that so you have an idea. But for most people, 2 hours is more than enough time to do most of their daily, everyday tasks around the house, or if you need to pull this out and use this around the car. If this runs out of a charge after that 2 hours, the neat thing about this is it goes from 0 battery to full charge in another 2 hours. And that's the cool thing about this, because if I move this out of the way, I will show you here the charger, which I showed in the unboxing part of this little review. So, you get this cool little battery charger. Let me just unhook this part right here. And this is where you hook in your flashlight. So you'll notice here you have the switch, the activation switch, and on the other side right here you have the little contact point, which this little nub fits inside. So let's see if I can kind of fit this in. You have like these 2 roller pins kind of lock it into place. So kind of work it in there, and now it's connected in. Now the cool thing is I have the option of plugging this in. So I'm just going to do that really briefly. And I'm just going to stick this plug underneath my desk and then let you guys have a look. And as it's charging, this little light on the flashlight itself is going to flash. So I'm actually not sure. I've been playing around with this light a lot. But hopefully it'll give you an idea of what it looks like. It's here. And as you can see, you get a little red light showing that this light has been used, and once it's fully charged it's going to turn green. So just to give you an idea there of how this light looks when it's charging. And the neat thing about this little charger is it came with, I think I dropped one. Oh, there it is. 2 screws. 2 screws? Why 2 screws, you wonder? If you look here, there are 2 holes. So this is actually made so that you can screw this in and mount this onto your wall if you want to. So that's a pretty neat kind of option that you have right there. So if you have like a garage or a workbench or some kind of room where like you're going to use a flashlight a lot, you can actually mount this charger in. And then you want to take it out, just unscrew it out of the wall. Pretty neat. And the screws came with the package as well. So this is done. I'm going to unplug this. And that is the battery charger. So it has its own internal lithium-ion battery that it charges. And if you don't want to use this, say for example you go on a lot of road trips, I would unhook the AC adapter attachment from the charger. side, and I have the option of plugging the charger in to this cigarette lighter adapter. So I could actually hook this into the charger, stick this in the cigarette lighter of my car. I can still use this, still charge this flashlight. So that makes it great for car camping. So if you're gonna take your car out into the woods or something like that, and you want a really bright, durable, heavier flashlight, heavy-duty flashlight, I would take this along. Now I bring this charger along with the car adapter, and I would just bring along the plug adapter just in case. Like say if you check into a hostel area or a camp spot that actually has electrical plugs. So those are really great options that comes with the light. So you get 2 hours of full charge before it dies out. Then it only takes another 2 hours in order to fully charge it again. It's got a couple of settings. First off, if I push it first, you get full high setting, which is the 200 lumen output. Push it again, and it goes to low. Now if I leave it at a setting for more than a couple of seconds, it's going to stay there. So if I turn it on and leave it here for like a couple of seconds, the next press of the button is going to turn it off, like so. But if I push it again a second time, it goes to dim. Dim is fine if you want to do things at a closer range and you don't need that extra brightness and you think it's a little bit too much. Dim is fine. Now if I press it rapidly, it goes into strobe. Now the thing about strobe is the camera's not picking up how, it looks like it's intermediately flashing on and off, but it's actually flashing a lot faster than this. The camera just can't pick it up. It's just too fast for the frame rate at which the camera is recording. But it's actually flashing on and off really, really rapidly. And then, so you have strobe, you have high, you have low, and then the cool thing about this is if I press it and hold it, it will only stay on for as long as I'm holding the button, and then as soon as I let go, it turns off. So you have that right there. So you have high, you have low, you have strobe, and you have the intermittent button where if I press it and hold it, as soon as I let go, it's going to turn off. So those are the 4 functions. Nothing fancy, nothing weird, just basic user-friendly options in terms of how to use this. It's very ergonomic, and you just want a flashlight to do what it does, and that's just to make a really bright light, and you want this thing to have a decent battery life, and you want it to be durable. So I've dropped this quite a few times, and I haven't even made a scratch in this thing. And the next thing, I'm going to actually take this in the backyard and let you guys see what this looks like. Hey guys, we're in my backyard, and I'm shining it on a tree in my backyard. The tree is about 50 feet away from the camera. As you can see, on the highest setting, it's really bright. You got this bright center, and in fact, the halo around the center part of the bright light is so big that it goes beyond the screen here, the outline. And so this is high. Let me turn it off. And this is low. So as you can see, you can barely pick it up with the camera. Actually, with normal human vision, like regular vision, I can actually see well enough with the low setting. It's just that this camera isn't made for low light. But for low, it's perfectly fine if you just need outlines and you don't need to see full details. And from, as you can see, about 20 feet on in, low is perfectly great. So if you want to conserve battery life, low is great. And then if I need to, there's high, and if I hit it twice, this is what strobe looks like. So show it to you again. Strobe, low, and high. So there you have it, guys. That is the Inova T4 flashlight. Really basic, but it's really good at what it does do. If you guys are looking for a super durable flashlight that has a ton of light output and has a bunch of different options for how to charge this thing, you might want to give this a shot. Go to gadzooks.com and check them out. Thanks for watching this review, guys. Have a great day.